Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of January 28th, 2021 of the Citrus Heights City Council. If you would post the flag, Amy, I'd like to ask everybody to unmute their mics and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We need to practice that a little bit. That was a pretty good job. And with that, Clerk Fan, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Bruins.
Present.
Councilmember Daniels.
Here.
Councilmember Schaefer.
Here.
Vice Mayor Middleton.
Present.
And Mayor Miller.
Here.
This meeting of the Citrus Heights City Council is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T Uverse cable systems. This meeting is closed captioned and live streamed at citrusheights.net. Tonight's meeting replays on Monday, February 1st at 9 a.m. on Channel 14. Next item is approval of agenda.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Schaefer and a second by Bruins. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Bruins.
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels.
Aye.
Councilmember Schaefer.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Middleton.
Aye.
And Mayor Miller.
Aye. So with the approval of the agenda, on to presentations, Amy.
The next item is presentation number 4, the Great Plates Delivered, Citrus Heights, Acknowledgement of Participating Restaurants and Residents.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Oh, sorry. Am I unmuted? Yes. Good evening, Mayor Miller and council members. Chris Myers, General Services Department. We wanted to take an opportunity tonight to just thank the local providers for the program and highlight some of their comments, and then also highlight some of the comments that we received back from the individuals that participated in the program. We had some really good feedback. Amy, first slide, please.
Just one moment, bear with me.
Perfect, thank you. So on our average, we provided meals 7 days a week, 3 meals a day to 166 seniors weekly. Our grand total provided through the 7 months that we had the program from May 20th to December 31st of 2020 was 108,508 meals. We had 7 participating restaurants. Of course, we know the huge investment that we put into the community using our own resources, pending FEMA's reimbursement. We also averaged 3,486 meals a week, and accurately had a very good impact with the outreach that was provided through the city as well. So some of the restaurants had thousands of hits, which is phenomenal. I mean, for example, our Vida Cantina had 9.2 thousand hits, which is just, outstanding. Beach Hut Deli, Chronic Taco, Dos Coyotes, our Vida Cantina, Boston Pizza, Ciro's Pizza Cafe, and NorCal Subs were our providers. Next slide, please. We've got some really good comments from some of the seniors. I think, and I'm not going to go over all of them, but I think what was really rewarding for us was the number of people that we actually, through this program, provided a face every day. Somebody who came to their door, gave them a meal, asked them how they were doing. We had participants who requested the same restaurants every week because they had developed friendships with the drivers that were bringing the meals, and they wanted to see them every day. So we had a really good rapport going, and we had just some tremendous people involved in the program. Next slide, please. So Beach Hut Deli, Chronic Tacos, we wanted to plug some of their media here. Next slide. So we requested feedback, good, bad, or indifferent, from all of the restaurants, and some of them gave us some really outstanding comments that we thought were worthwhile to share. For those of us that have been around for a while in Citrus Heights, Ciro's has been here, for a really long time, and so has Boston's Pizza. But again, Boston's Pizza, the seniors shared their personal life details with the delivery crew, their birthdays. They would ask us if we could get them a cupcake, things like that. It's just that little extra touch that for 7 months, we were new family members in all of these people's lives, which was really, really rewarding for everybody involved. Next slide, please. Ciro's, which are just a tremendous folks as well, and their comments back were, we took pride in knowing that we were contributing to the well-being of the most vulnerable in our community. Many of our staff members have worked at Ciro's for over 10 years. This is as their second job, and now they return to us. So, the commitment to our community is just so strong and so deep, and it's just a wonderful experience for all of us. So, next slide, please. Dos Coyotes, our Vida Cantina. We didn't try to create any type of a competition, but some of our providers just did a tremendous job with the meals that they put together, being that they were providing 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, and variety is a challenge. But I can honestly say, for example, that our Vida Cantina and Dos Coyotes, as well as Ciro's, found new ways to do breakfast items, just some phenomenal, very well provided, nourishing food. And actually, we probably were better than the local standard in other agencies. I think we did a tremendous job with providing food. Final slide, which I believe is that. One more. And that's the end of that. If there are any questions that council may have, I think we're all pretty aware that we have FEMA money pending distribution to us, and then there's additional funds that are being routed as that process takes place. So it could take us the full 12 months to have our full reimbursement, but it will come to us and we will be reimbursed.
Chris, thank you so much for running this program. You deserve a little kudos yourself. You obviously had some help from city staff. Would you like to recognize them?
Darcy Carpenter and Michelle Sario did a tremendous job. I mean, Darcy she was the face of the people that were registering, online, and then Michelle ran the restaurant portion of all of that. Darcy knows way too much about some of these people, has been invited to their homes, to come over and all those things. And we have developed some relationships with some of those people, and some of those residents were folks that were challenged with the program and also with the food, and we were able to bring them to a place to understand what they were getting, why they were getting it, and also at the end provide them with some additional resources, because a lot of those folks still need some type of a resource. So there are other programs for them that they can contribute, that can be contributing to them for meals. As some side notes to the program itself, Great Plates originally had about 60 plus administrators, and as of this week, they're down to 28. So regionally, that program is beginning to wind down, and most of that is just because of the huge outlay of resources that cities have put into it, pending reimbursement, and they've sort of reached their mark there. So.
Well, it was a blessing that we had you guys to carry out this program and that we could even do it and support our restaurants during these difficult times. And, with this recent storm, I just feel like it's insult to injury. All their tents got blown over, we're forcing everybody to eat outside. And so this is tough to see, but I was also happy that this program could help our seniors too. And so let's not lose touch with them. Any other questions and comments from council?
I just think this has paid dividends that we can't measure in dollars and cents. And aside from the fact that we've had to lay out money that has not been repaid yet, beyond that, we all know it will, but beyond that, the goodwill that has been produced between the city and our participating restaurants and the seniors that benefited from this program, I think that's immeasurable, and that's going to pay out over the years. And thank you also, Chris, to you and to Darcy and to Michelle, because I know they did a lot of running around, and it was a job well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd just like to make a quick comment, Mayor. Thank you again, Chris, for all the hard work you and your staff put forward on this. Well, there's one thing that what we hope lasting is the community recognizes that we care about our seniors here. And even though we did have to front quite a lot of money, I think that's the important takeaway from this is we care about our seniors. There's a significant population here in Citrus Heights of senior citizens, and we want them to reach out to us if they need help. And this is one way that we can demonstrate that is a fruitful venture. So thank you again, Chris.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. That concludes this item, and let's move on to comments by council members. Amy?
Yes, so comments by council members and regional board updates.
Okay, let's see. Councilmember Schaefer, I think you had your first regional meeting. How'd that go today?
Well, I actually had, I was at Sunrise Marketplace meeting with Councilmember Middleton. I think that went very well. I think we're on track with getting the P-bid renewed for at least another 3 years. I think I'm grateful to the city attorney and the attorney on the Sunrise Marketplace side. Forgive me if I don't remember what his name is. That's a great progress. First of all, I had today I had my regional meeting with the library board. We have the senior administrator is going to be retiring, I think at the end of this fiscal year. So I volunteered to be on the committee to select the next regional director there. So I look forward to working with Supervisor Frost and another Garrett, what's his name? Gatewood, yes, Garrett Gatewood from Rancho Cordova to select the new administrator there. So I look forward to the work on that committee. Thank you for appointing me, Mayor.
I'm glad you're thanking me after only one meeting. Okay. Councilmember Bruins, what have you been up to?
Thank you. Just more announcements than meetings. Regional Stand did not meet this week. However, I've been on a subcommittee to address 3 issues, and they did meet this week. And we had our 5th and final meeting, and the issues included updating the agreement they have with the various contributing sewer systems. And we are in Citrus Heights, we are both with Sacramento Area Sewer District and Regional Stand, which are all part of the same. But other parts of the county are not, like parts of Sac City and most of Folsom have their own contributing pipeline. So we have agreements, those are being studied for updates. More importantly, we did also have an item on considering consolidating the 2 districts into one. And that actually has been tabled because we have a lot of new board members on the board this year. We have a pretty large board, about 15 members, and just to give them a chance to get their legs. And also we are facing the retirement of our district engineer, Prabhakar Sumaravapu, who is retiring in August. So this really will fall to the new administration. And then lastly, many people don't know this, but Regional Stand's employees are all county employees. And so there's been some disparity in job classifications and things. So this is an ongoing dialogue between the county and the Regional Stand. So there's kind of some internal things that are going on there. The Echo Water project continues to charge forward, as does the Harvest Water project on recycled water. And so those are all continuing to move forward. I'd like to give a shout out and thanks to Texas Roadhouse for what they did today. They donated all of their proceeds today for lunch and dinner to the Memorial Fund for slain Deputy Sheriff Adam Gibson. And so This goes on till 8 o'clock tonight. So if anybody, if the public is out there and wants to catch a quick meal, just know that they have dedicated all their proceeds today to the widow and infant daughter of the slain deputy. And then as a thank you, I want to encourage everybody to go back to Texas Roadhouse on another day where they can get to keep all their profits and go eat there again. So they're a phenomenal community member, and Joseph Sevier, their managing partner, runs that restaurant, has a great heart for Citrus Heights, and I just want to thank them. And then also, I just learned today, for any of the nonprofits that might be out there listening, that our community center has gotten creative and they are reaching out to the nonprofits that generally do a crab feed there, and they're offering drive-through service, kind of severely modified, but yet providing the ability for nonprofits to do their crab feeds on a drive-through basis, and just making the kitchen available so they can create the meals and then people can drive through and pick them up. So those are all the announcements I have, and that's it, Mayor.
Thank you, and I'll interject. One of the first drive-throughs is the 35th annual crab feed. Well, this is the first one that's a drive-through for the Kiwanis Club. And
Right.
They're doing it on, when are they doing it?
Tomorrow night.
Oh, tomorrow night already. I've been missing my crab feed. So that, how does that work? Do you?
Well, I think they're opening up their, you went, Steve, your mic's off.
I know. Oh, was it while I was talking?
Okay. So what they're doing is they're opening up the kitchen, and I think they drive through from the back and pick up the meal from the kitchen. It's boxed.
Okay, you can't come around for seconds, huh?
I don't know.
You know me.
Call Bill.
Thank you, Jeannie. Let's see, Brett.
Thank you. Yeah, Air Board met today, not too much really, looking at some budget cleanup stuff, but nothing really to report out of it. I did want to echo Jeannie's remarks regarding Deputy Adam Gibson and his canine partner Riley. Our hearts go out to that family tremendously, and extreme appreciation for what Texas Roadhouse is doing. Try to get up there. It's 7:20. You've got 40 minutes. Call your order in, and I know they'll take care of you. And if you're not seeing this till later, go up there and give them some business and show your appreciation for what they're doing. It makes a difference. It really makes a difference. So please try to do that. We saw ourselves get released from the ridiculous regional restrictions placed by the governor, and but we still find ourselves, I believe, in the purple tier. And it's unfortunate. If we were probably going by zip codes, Citrus Heights would probably be in the orange tier. But at least there's some relief to that. And so go get your hair done and go out to dinner and support the local restaurants and businesses in Citrus Heights. It's needed tremendously. They need it to survive. And that's how you run. That's how we run your city. Those tax dollars have to come in for us to be able to run your city. And so please do your part, get out and support local. And hopefully we get through this and we see ourselves drop to orange very quickly to where we're able to eat inside, and it makes a big difference since it is January. But try to find a way to support your local. That's it.
Thank you, Councilmember Daniels. Vice Mayor Middleton, I think you're next.
All right, so SACOG met last week. We went through a ton of bills regarding housing, COVID updates, and just trying to figure out what we're going to do and ask for at the state and federal levels to help our smaller rural communities and our smaller cities. Not a lot to report. We had to go through a lot of different bills, and we only made it through about half of them because there are so many because of the shortened legislative session. So I'll keep you all informed.
All right, thank you. Let's see, and I had a regional transit meeting this past Monday. It was a pretty short agenda, but it included a presentation from Caltrans to RT for the 2020 Excellence in Transportation Award on public awareness, and it was due to the outreach on the upgrades to the transit system, and RT went overboard in engaging the public and their riders with this efforts. They also selected a chair and vice chair for this coming year. I forgot to take a step back, kind of like Tim did at the library board, and I'll be serving as board chair this year along with Patrick Kennedy as vice chair. I did want to thank our employees at General Services, our contractors that work on our streets and cleans up our creeks, and our energy partner, SMUD, for their work cleaning up the wind damage from this most recent storm. And we all know there was a lot of downed trees, fences, and I mentioned earlier about the tents being blown away. I'm still looking for the top of my patio cover. It left in a haste and over the back fence. And with that, I'd like to ask someone from General Services, or maybe Chris, you could do this, update us on our sandbag locations, our cleanup efforts, and impacts to, say, our street sweeping schedule and any flooding concerns there may be out there.
Yeah, certainly, Mayor. I'll ask Regina Cave, our operations manager in Public Works, to do that, and maybe Regina can also incorporate. I know our police officers were out there as well, working side by side and very, very, very busy. But I'll also preface it by saying that super proud of the whole team. They were very prepared. I saw firsthand before the storm came in their preparation, and they were ready, and they did a good job. That was a whopper of a windstorm. So Regina, please.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Mayor and council members. Yes, staff have been quite busy over the last 48 hours as a result of the recent storms. Fortunately, we are seasoned staff. We have dealt with storms in the past, and so we are quite a well-oiled machine. We're also fortunate that the winds did precede today's precipitation. That helped tremendously. So as a result of the storms from Tuesday to Wednesday from the winds, we attended to approximately 30 tree incidents. This is regarding either large trees in whole, anything blocking the public right of way as public safety concern. So we cleared a majority of those by staff. We had about 10 of those that needed to be attended to by our contractors just due to size and volume. And of those 30 trees, we are proud to say only one was a city tree, and that actually fell over in the police department parking lot and did not pose a public safety concern. So, and that was also as a kind of a result of all the efforts that we put forth over the last 5 years or so in really addressing our trees and making sure that we are keeping our trees well maintained, having regular arbor reviews and regular maintenance conducted on our trees. So SMUD had numerous outages, as we know, throughout the region. We still have a few here in Citrus Heights that are still have not been reinstated. And of those power outages, we had 3 intersections here in the city that had been affected Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Those were attended to immediately and were back up and running by midday yesterday. And then, of course, we had some heavy precipitation today that resulted in only 8 call outs regarding drainage backup, any kind of stormwater sitting in the roadway or causing a public hazard. We were able to rectify 6 of those immediately and had the assistance on 2 of those from our contractor. So we did really well this year and in this last storm. And again, this is really as a result of all of our efforts that we put forth in our very proactive storm water preparation, making sure our creeks are clean. We have a contractor who goes through regularly and vacuums our storm drain system. And so we really try to stay on top of that to prevent a lot of this localized flooding. So in terms of sweeping, we did require or request our street sweeper to come out last night to address a lot of the debris that we saw accumulated on our arterials primarily. Keep in mind, and we like to tell our residents though, that they can only pick up some of the smaller stuff. So if there's large branches, large accumulation, those street sweepers cannot attend to that. So anytime that there's any debris in the street, large debris that cannot be attended to by the street sweeper, we need residents to contact General Services so we can go ahead and attend to that. So I'm sorry, were there any other questions, Mayor, that you had asked that you had wanted any kind of clarification on?
No, I was going to apologize for springing this on you, but you seem very well prepared. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. And we do have, like I said, the extra sweeps last night on the arterials. We're trying to maintain our schedule on our residential streets. They do have normal makeup days on Mondays and Fridays in case that they weren't able to get to the streets during this week because of the heavy accumulation or trees down or any kind of blockages.
All right. Thank you for everyone's efforts.
Thank you.
And with that, I'm done and we can move on to the next item.
The next item is public comment, and members of the public may address the council on any item of interest to the public and within the council's purview, or on any agenda item before or during the council's consideration of the item. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each. If you wish to address the council during the Zoom meeting, please use the raise hand function or *9 from a telephone to indicate your desire to speak. When your name is called, I will allow you to unmute your microphone to speak. And I do not have any written comment for tonight, and I do not see any hands raised.
Well, I tell you what, I can't wait till we can all be back in chambers and we can have the public, because I think that's one thing that's missing is the ability of our residents to be able to walk in and talk to us. And so I missed that part of the sheltering in place, whatever you call it. With that, let's move on to the consent calendar. Amy?
The consent calendar, we have items 5 and 6.
Move approval.
Second.
There's a motion by Councilmember Daniels and a second by Councilmember Bruins. Amy, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Bruins?
Aye.
Councilmember Daniels?
Aye.
Councilmember Schaefer?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Middleton?
Aye.
And Mayor Miller.
Aye. Any public hearings or?
No, there are no public hearings, no regular calendar items. So the next item is Department Report number 7. The subject is Resiliency During a Pandemic, Essential Workers, Essential Services, Amazing Results, presented by the Administrative Services Department.
Good evening, Mayor, members of Council. Rhonda Rivera, Assistant City Manager over the Administrative Services Department. And I just want to take a moment to kind of just bring to light the amazing staff that the City of Citrus Heights has. In 2020, and with the COVID-19 pandemic, it brought unique challenges to city staff and to our community. I want to take this opportunity to applaud all employees for their ingenuity, dedication to providing customer service, and the patience and perseverance to keep our city running smoothly during this difficult time. I also want to recognize the rapidity with which we were able to implement online measures to ensure public access to information and services. One of the biggest challenges that we provide is all city employees are public servants, and we are here to provide a service to our community. When we had our doors shut due to this pandemic, we still had to find ways of providing services to the community. Our employees, the resources that we had, they all rallied together and came up with some very creative ways and implementing new processes in order to reach out to our community. Almost overnight, human resources staff, along with facilities, had to create and implement policies and procedures to facilitate employees working from home while ensuring that city facilities were safe and compliant with CDC guidelines for those who still had to report to duty on site. Extensive time and effort was required of HR staff in addition to regular duties to keep up with and implement COVID-19, federal, state, and local guidelines, and as well as emergency sick leave processing and contract tracing as required by law. Our information technology division ramped up an extraordinarily quick time to provide employees laptops, printers, cameras for Zoom meetings, and VPN resources for a smooth and efficient working experience from home. Work from home guides were created and a support staff rotation developed that would ensure appropriate on-site support would continue uninterrupted. Our payroll staff have accomplished 90% of their work from home since March of 2020, with no interruption in paychecks or benefits to our staff. Cashiering services were successfully modified, and finance is understandably proud to report the completion of 4 virtual audits, a first for the city with 0 findings. I am very proud of everyone at the city, every department, every person came together to maintain the services that we need to provide to our community in a safe and reliable manner. I just want to thank our residents for their support and thank our employees for their dedication to providing the highest level of customer service to each other and to our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Rhonda.
So our next item is Department Report number 8. The subject is 2020 Accessibility Drainage and Resurfacing Project Updates by the General Services Department.
Good evening, Mayor Miller and members of the City Council. I'm Leslie Bloomquist with the General Services Department, here tonight with Regina Cave with a brief update on our 2020 Accessibility and Drainage Project. This project, which is nearing the end of construction, replaced over 13,500 square feet of sidewalk, over 3,000 linear feet of curb and gutter, 3 storm drain manholes, installed or relocated 15 drain inlets, placed nearly 775 linear feet of new storm drain pipe, and installed 28 new ADA compliant curb ramps. These improvements were constructed on 13 streets throughout the city, as shown on the list on the screen. The number in parenthesis next to the street is the neighborhood association number that street is located in. Here's some before and after photos of what was constructed. Here you can see the previous curb ramp at Sandwood Court and Brockwood Way. This ramp did not meet current ADA requirements for steepness of slopes, locations of flat or level landings, and presence of the yellow truncated domes, which are used by those with low sight levels and visual assistance devices to indicate when the sidewalk ends and the street begins. On the right, you see what was constructed as part of the project. This new ramp meets all current ADA requirements for slopes, landing locations, and has the yellow truncated domes. Here at Deli and Tupelo, no curb ramp was present. We installed the ADA compliant ramp and also a new drainage inlet to capture water that would previously pond on this corner after storms. At Glass Slipper and Carriage, another ramp, it was installed. This location is also on a Safe Routes to School, providing a more accessible route for students when school does return to campuses. These pictures show the before and after at Madison and Fleetwood near Maidstone Avenue. This was an especially challenging curb ramp design due to the steep grades and elevation differential between Maidstone and Madison. Here are a few other photos of the same location during construction and from a different angle. Due to the vertical drop from the top of the wall and the length of the ramp, handrails and guardrails were required and installed to provide additional safety and accessibility. In addition to the curb ramp, approximately 100 linear feet of sidewalk was installed at this location along Maidstone to provide connection on the south side of the street, which previously ended abruptly, leaving pedestrians stranded with no accessible connection. In addition to the accessibility improvements, we also replaced failing underground storm drain infrastructure. In the upper left photo, you see a manhole with no bottom. This was replaced as part of the project. The middle photo, you can see the condition of the corrugated metal storm drain pipe that was removed. Over time, corrugated metal pipe corrodes and washes out, leaving pipes with no bottom, causing significant and ongoing maintenance. This project replaced the old corrugated metal pipe with a plastic pipe as seen in the picture on the right. The plastic pipe has a significantly longer lifespan, which will reduce future maintenance costs and reduce localized flooding. The installation of the 28 curb ramps increased accessibility and pedestrian safety. The installation and replacement of the storm drain inlets and storm drain infrastructure will reduce localized flooding and increase longevity of the system. And overall, all the improvements will reduce long-term maintenance costs for our roadways. The total cost of the project is estimated to be about $833,000, although we are still working with the contractor to verify the final quantities for final payment. The funding sources include community development block grant funds, stormwater utility funds, and SB1 local partnership program funds. Next steps include working with the contractor to complete the final items, including the final punch list. We'll be back to council within the next month or so with the formal acceptance request and project closeout. This project is in anticipation of the 2021 resurfacing project, which is currently in the final design phase. Resurfacing of a roadway triggers the requirement to install the curb ramps. as part of the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA. We anticipate resurfacing to commence in May for those same 13 roads that were listed previously for which these project improvements were constructed. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Leslie?
I just have one. Leslie, SB1, I'm surprised to see that as the funding source for that project. I thought those funds were supposed to just go for affordable housing.
Yeah, actually, Regina, would you mind answering that question?
So these SB1 funds in particular are actually allocated to the city as part of the self-help program because we're part of Sacramento Transportation Authority with a self-help tax. The SB1 program statewide set aside funds annually to go specifically to self-help counties. And then those allocations can be used as you deem appropriate as long as they fall within the parameters of the overall SB1 program. So we put forth an application for approval for these funds through the California Transportation Commission, and they approve them just like they would any state or federal funds. And then we apply those to a project and we get reimbursement.
Thank you. That was just a surprise to me.
Well, thank you, Leslie, again. If there's no other questions, we'll move on to the next presentation, or report, I guess I should say.
The next item is department report number 9. The subject is 2020 Communications Year in Review by the City Manager's Office.
Thank you, Amy, and hello and good evening, Mayor Miller and council members. I am Nicole Baxter, Communications Officer, and I really appreciate this opportunity to share a recap of our communications efforts for 2020. It was an insane year, to say the least. So to kick us off, I wanted to review the strategic goals set by council for the period between 2017 and 2020. And while our communication team works to share updates on progress around all of these goals, both internally and externally, the last one there, to improve community vibrancy and engagement, that one really speaks to our main objectives as a communications team. So to support that strategic goal, our work really shakes into 3 categories when we look back at 2020. So the first one is providing consistent content on our existing channels. So that consistency means in both cadence, posting and updating frequently, keeping our residents up to date, but also consistency in voice and style. We really wanted to build out our relationship with residents. And so you need consistent content to do that. The second mode there is new channels and methods. So that really means building new ways to reach our residents. And in the midst of COVID, that became so important. We needed to adapt and pivot and meet our residents where they were to provide them important education and updates. And with all this work, the last category there really focused on feedback and responsiveness. I feel like that was our biggest theme the year in 2020. So we really can't talk about consistent content without giving huge kudos to our public information team. I lovingly refer to them as our PITS crew. They often feel that way in giving us maintenance and updates for our communications efforts. But this team represents individuals who come from different divisions and departments within the city and really took on a lot of extra work during COVID to support our communications efforts. This meant being a conduit for their division and the communications team, and ultimately our residents, to get out updates and important information for their divisions, but also serve as a think tank for our communications efforts during the pandemic and beyond. This meant meeting weekly, talking through website updates, how to adapt our content to fit, those working from home and those, not online. So I just wanted to say huge thanks to this PIT crew, some of which are featured here in this photo. We could not have had this success I'm about to report on without this group. So talking about our existing channels and taking a moment to update council with some stats, our external newsletter really proved to be a valuable tool this past year. Our stats, according to Constant Contact, are double what the industry standards are for government agencies. So we're sitting at about around a 51% open rate, which is extremely high. Government agency averages at about 20%. So again, double the standard. And to kind of quantify the success, in 2020, we had nearly 7,000 clicks over to those who wanted to learn more and view information on our website. We can't talk about our existing channels without talking about social media. It grew for everyone in 2020, no matter what industry you work in. Everyone is more connected online than ever. And our efforts equated to 27,000 combined followers. That's across Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Nextdoor. And this pie chart kind of shows you how those followers shake out. And also, a lot of our efforts for the communication team focused around streamlining our web content. So we helped divisions and departments build out new pages. And it was really about finding ways to illustrate clear, concise messaging. So we landed on, lots of buttons, videos, summarizing difficult information, as we always do for our residents. And then expanding on our existing channels, our residents who are not as plugged in digitally, we wanted to be inclusive of everyone. So we really upped our content with the Citrus Heights Messenger. We are so lucky to have that kind of paper for the audience that prefers print media. So we've got consistent content in the Messenger, as well as Metro Cable. That partnership has really grown beyond just showcasing our council meetings. They have helped us promote our Great Plates program. They aired our State of the City broadcast. I'm really excited to see that relationship continue into 2021. Once we had our solid communications in place there and we had consistent communication on our existing channels, we were able to build and kind of think of new channels and new methods to reach our audience and keep everyone engaged. Zoom fatigue is a real thing. We're using this platform to work, play, to stay connected with our families. As a city, we wanted to think of creative ways to keep remote meetings engaging. So one of the methods that we adopted was a virtual open house. This was a really cool 3D experience. We got to highlight 18 different city service lines. We showcased videos about our work. We had surveys for each service line, contact information. And that experience, that virtual experience of the open house, saw nearly 600 visits. So we consider it a huge success, something we're hoping to adapt and continue year after year. And then we kind of had to become Zoom experts. This meant adapting community workshops and subject matter interviews to fit a new Zoom remote platform, but still keep things engaging. So this ranged from our biggest virtual workshop, which was the Sunrise Tomorrow virtual workshop, a huge effort, multiple panelists, hundreds of attendees, hours of planning, and we really received wonderful feedback on that. Then that's one end of the spectrum, and then you've got the smaller opportunities. So really leveraging the remote platform to interview and answer questions almost on a weekly basis for a while, covering topics from economic development to our free flu shot clinic that we partnered with the county on, our updated speed limit changes. We really got to cover a lot of information and answer questions in real time. Another exciting adaptation was our State of the City broadcast, a huge promotion effort to reach residents that hadn't tuned into a council meeting before that wanted to become involved. We had over 300 registrants for the evening. We did live polling. We heard from our mayor, chief of police, city manager, and it was a really great way to end out and look back on a lot of what we went through for COVID. And that leads me to my last point. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about our communication efforts around COVID education. We've been able to partner with city and city staff and county officials, really round out our COVID portal to try to provide the best information out there to our residents related to everything from testing to senior resources, to county counts for where we're at. So if you haven't checked that out yet, citrusheights.net/COVID-19. We're really proud of that roundup of information. So then that last category there, our main theme, we had a huge focus on feedback and responsiveness and engagement for 2020. So of course, we have to talk about the Join the Conversation effort, city's largest engagement effort in history. We received 1,731 feedback forms from residents and community members. Then we also launched Flash Vote, a very cool tool to quickly interact with our residents and allow them to weigh in on important topics for our city. We've grown that platform to 741 subscribers, and we're hoping to continue to grow it even more. Our latest Flash Vote survey was around our housing element, and we asked important questions related to the housing needs of our community. And then, of course, adapting those community workshops and hosting those live interviews, all with responsiveness and engagement in mind. So I'm really proud of this number up on the screen right now. With some help from Sac State intern, I was able to calculate all the impressions for 2020, and we are looking at 11.6 million impressions of city messages and education and important updates, sharing stories of resilience across earned media, getting us in the news, and then also our owned channels, our social media and our newsletter. And while I'm really impressed and honestly proud of this impressions number, it's a little difficult to quantify the impacts of really good communication. You know it when you experience it, and that's what we're working towards. Our updates and messages received millions and millions of impressions. More importantly, helped educate and make our residents feel connected. I wanted to close out my recap and look back on 2020 with a snippet of feedback I received after our State of the City address. I think it really illustrates the outcome that we're striving for here. And so this resident had emailed me prior to the State of the City broadcast with some serious concerns about his neighborhood streets and landscape maintenance. This is what he sent me after the State of the City broadcast. He said, if possible, please regard my 2 previous emails I sent you. After listening to the State of the City address, I'm much more confident that city management and staff are doing the best that they can with the available resources. And this is what we are capable of when we're able to share and have an open communication with our residents and let them know what we're working on and keep them updated. So, looking ahead to this year, we're hitting the ground running. Our communications campaign, since the team has been stood up in just a little over a year, have received awards from Appio and the local PRSA chapter. And we're just really hoping to build on that momentum and continue to stay engaged with our residents in 2021. So with that, thank you, Mayor Miller and council members for the time this evening.
Nicole Baxter in the pits. Great job. Any questions for Nicole or comments?
Thank you. We've just really seen a decisive change and uptick in our communication since Nicole's joined the team. So thank you, Nicole, very much.
I really like the virtual tour. I thought that was a future look for websites. And sorry, it was just a short thing. I think that should always be there, but that's just my opinion. All right. With that, we'll move on to the next department report.
The next department report, number 10, the subject is the 2020 Holiday Referral Program recap by the Police Department.
Mayor Miller, members of the council, we've got 2 reports to give you tonight, the recap on the Holiday Referral Program and then the alarm billing outsourcing, both of them by Support Services Supervisor or Special Services Supervisor Tiffany Campbell. And both of these really highlight, one, our community outreach and how important our community relationships is to your police department, how special that relationship is to us. And then the outsourcing of alarm billing demonstrates how effective and efficient we are with being creative and innovative in deploying our resources and using techniques to better our organization. And I just want to thank Tiffany Campbell for her leadership, because the holiday referral program, as you know, is a very big deal for us, and it takes a strong leader, and it takes a whole team. It took a whole bunch of our staff and city staff from City Hall to come together, but Tiffany really was the catalyst here and the leader in all of this, and so I wanted to thank her for both of these projects that she's about to report on. So Tiffany, I'll give it to you.
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate that so much. One moment and I'll screen share. Can you see then?
Yes, maybe you want to maximize the window.
There you go.
Okay. Okay, so thank you very much. As Chief, thank you. Again, good evening, Mayor Miller and Vice Mayor Middleton and members of the council. I'm proud to tell you, my name is Tiffany Campbell, and as Chief said, I am the Special Services Supervisor. Currently, I'm managing the records unit, and in that, there's various amounts of duties. What I want to share with you next, oh, pardon me just a moment, it appears my screen is not clicking. Just a moment. I apologize.
It worked in rehearsal.
I'm so sorry. Just one quick moment, please.
Take your time.
Yes, please.
Tiffany, is this the correct slide? I brought up the PowerPoint on my computer. Tiffany, are you seeing the correct slide on your screen?
Yes. I can't speak. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you get me back to the Zoom? Amy, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'm very sorry for that technical difficulty. Sometimes, as you know, in this climate, it's challenging, so I appreciate my part. So the next slide then, we'll start talking first about the holiday refill program. Is that what you can see? Someone could let me know if they can hear me. I'm sorry, I have no content.
Now we can hear you.
I appreciate that. Are you seeing the holiday referral program slide?
Yes.
Yes, Amy brought it up for you. And,
okay, I appreciate that, Amy. I'll just need a little help to guide me through this. But without further ado, I am proud to report to you that last year, in October of 2020, I was provided to council an overview of what we were going to do with the annual holiday referral program. Of course, a cherished event, which everybody loves. Only this year I provided that we had to do it much differently. With COVID in mind, we understood that it was going to be a different look. But what I have presented in front of you is I would like to let council know our program highlights. It was a smashing success. We included new online applications, which helped our citizens connect with us. We helped over 250 citizens in our community. That included 27 families being adopted, to include 89 children and 44 adults. In addition to this cheer, there were over 100 toys and gifts donated to the Sayonara Youth Center. And as you can see from our photos, we are COVID safe, and we still were able to bring cheer to our community of folks that are so deserving. It was a proud moment when we were able to do our first ever drive-through pickup and have these families come through our community and accept the gifts for one another. And as you can see, we had community members and city staff. Although they're behind the mask, nothing changed as far as our employees and our teams coming together. And this program is possible because of the staff that we have, in addition to our community members and our service clubs. So again, I just wanted to say this was a smashing success. We also received over $5,350 in cash and gift cards. So folks were able to donate to our community in just a different way. Back to what our public information officer, Nicole Baxter, said, communications officer, it is true that that outreach of information through an online platform or a social media platform was extremely helpful. And so I just want to reach out to them as well and thank them for the work that they did to get our word out, as well as our own PIO officer, Larissa Wasilewski. So thank you for that. Next slide. Thank you. So next I'll transition to our current program, which is our Citrus Heights Alarm Program. And I am here tonight to provide you an update to let you know of a transition that's going to happen to maximize our efficiency. As many of you are aware, the city currently has an established alarm permit program. And as far as I know, it's been here with our city since 2009 when I came to Citrus Heights, but I believe it was even before that. So I want to let you know that the city has an established alarm permit program as outlined in our Citrus Heights Municipal Code. The program is currently administered by the Police Department Records Unit, along with assistance from our IT and finance departments. In step with the conversation this evening concerning the budget presentation, the police department has found an innovative way to outsource the alarm permit program, utilizing and leveraging a current contract in place that handles our parking tickets and collection of those payments. This transition will allow us to maximize our efficiency with no negative physical impacts to our city, and it will have enhanced services to our citizen. It will free up critically needed staff time. It will allow online registration as an option to our community and an online account access portal, as well as it will automate a process that has been otherwise manual to this point. There will also be a direct link through the police department and city websites. Here on this slide, I'm showing you what it will look like from our department website for a citizen to easily click to pay or for a new customer to join. Our fax, our QAs will be here. And also users can register directly from this website. So again, it's a negative physical impact to our city and maximizing our efficiency to our community members. At this time, I want to thank you. I apologize for my error on the Zoom link and ask first, are there any questions about the alarm program outsource that I can answer?
Any questions for Supervisor Campbell?
Okay, and thank you for that. Mayor, are there any questions with regard to the holiday referral wrap-up?
No, that's just such a great program. And, you know, the police department picked up the baton on this. I remember even before we were a city, we did this, the Lions Club and Rotary Club, and we were across the street from each other's, and you'd look across the street, they'd be loading up, we'd be loading up, and someone came up with the idea, we ought to do this together, and you've just taken it to another level. So really appreciate your effort. And any other questions or comments from council?
Thank you, Tiffany. Well done.
Thank you.
And you just brought me back to Monday night, Tiffany, when I had a 2-second echo in my voice and I had all these things I wanted to say, but it just, when things are echoing back, you can't even think. So good job and no worries.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, and that brings us to our next.
The next department report, item 12, the subject is resources for renters by the Community Development Department.
Good evening, Mayor Miller, Council. I'm Stephanie Cotter, the Housing and Human Services Program Coordinator for the Community Development Department. Tonight, I'm here to highlight the Renters Helpline Program. It's one of the city's programs that's funded by our annual CDBG grant. I'm going to go over the program just briefly, and then I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Sarah Ropalato from Legal Services of Northern California. And she's going to give a summary of the services they provide and the statewide rental protections that are existing, and then maybe some information about the proposed extension. So just briefly, the Renters Helpline is a free program. It's a counseling service administered via the phone, primarily by Sacramento Self-Help Housing, although they do collaborate with Project Sentinel and Legal Services of Northern California. How it works is the Renters Helpline staff take in the phone call, they give an initial assessment, and then depending on the needs of the caller, they would refer them over to Project Sentinel for fair housing issues, or over to Legal Services of Northern California for legal help. The Renters Helpline is really unique in that it's a multi-jurisdictional effort. It's a partnership that is funded by Sacramento County and the cities of Citrus Heights, Elk Grove, Folsom, Rancho Cordova, and Sacramento. So when community members call into the phone line, it's really seamless on their end. They're able to receive the service for free as long as they live within Sacramento County. So tenants can reach the Renters Helpline during regular business hours. The number is 916-389-7877. And they also have a website at rentershelpline.org. You can go to the city's website as well to find all of this contact information. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Sarah from Legal Services of Northern California to give us a brief overview of the services they provide, and then some information about resources that are currently available to renters.
Thank you, Ms. Cotter, and welcome, Sarah Ropalato. Unmute.
Oh, I think you're still on mute, Sarah.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Great. Thank you. I'm
Great.
sorry about that. Thank you, Mayor Miller and council members, and thank you to the city for this invitation. My name is Sarah Ropalato. I'm the managing attorney with Legal Services of Northern California's Sacramento office. We have served Sacramento County for over 60 years. We're a nonprofit legal aid organization, so we're a law firm that's nonprofit, and our mission is there on the screen. And we're an anti-poverty organization, and so our work is to address poverty in its sort of many forms and assist the community in that endeavor, and be responsive to the community on those fronts. The services, let's see if it'll work here. These are our sort of main buckets of kinds of services that we provide, or the areas of law that we practice in. So we have preservation of housing. Housing is by far and away the thing that most people contact us for assistance with, but we also engage in helping people access healthcare insurance. So if they have questions about Medi-Cal or their health insurance, or other questions related to their healthcare that are legal in nature. We also have in the bucket of civil rights, doing education work and advocacy, rights for those experiencing homelessness and housing discrimination. And then we also, in the last bucket, help individuals who need assistance with public benefits. So questions related to their CalWorks or their food assistance or their Social Security or their state disability benefits or unemployment benefits of that nature. So Legal Services in Northern California actually, as an organization, serves 23 counties in Northern California out of 8 regional offices, but the Sacramento County office is the local office here that we're talking about here today. So just so that folks have a sense for your constituents that may be calling you of the kinds of things that we do, versus it's also helpful to know the areas of law that we don't practice in, so that folks are able to be referred appropriately. So I've mentioned the areas that we've worked in, but to highlight some additional ones, we also have a practice in elder law. We have a senior legal hotline, which is a hotline for folks over 60 that is able to provide counsel and advice on a whole variety of issues affecting seniors. We have a pension project that is able to also assist folks in accessing their pensions, and if there are any legal questions they have related to that. And then we also do some cleanup of criminal records via periodic clinics from time to time. The areas we're not able to help with are family law, criminal law, immigration law with some limited exceptions, and then personal injury and medical malpractice. I wanted to share with you some resources that we have for your community members. A great sort of first starting point for those that have access to the internet is our website. It's at www.lsnc.net. And we have a lot of answers to basic questions that we get in the various areas. So you'll see tabs for housing and health and CalWORKS and CalFresh, unemployment and general assistance and relief, as well as the way that you can contact us and which office that you need to go to, and some self-help resources for that. We spent a lot of time trying to make sure that our website is accessible and simple and breaks things down for folks in the best way that that we can, so that it's not in legalese and is easily able to understand it and know what they need to do and know if they still need to call us if they have more questions. We also, you'll see at the top, so as you know, the whole world has transitioned during the pandemic, we did as well. And we have a banner at the top of our screen that brings folks to our COVID-19 coronavirus updates. So one of the services that we have provided during the pandemic is as local and as state laws and as federal assistance has changed in a whirlwind fashion, we're trying to make sure that we can get tenants the information they need about their rights and about their obligations and requirements as fast as we can. And so in this section of our website, we have been creating animated videos that break down what the requirements are and who's protected and what you need to do in order to stay protected as a tenant. For that part of it, to just again bring it down into something that is really easy to understand and visual, and lets folks know what exactly they need to do in order to be protected, and to how they need to communicate with their landlords. And so we update this part of the site frequently, and we'll be updating it again with the new legislation that passed today that we'll talk a little bit about for that piece of it. And we share, when we have these resources, we share them out with the city of Citrus Heights and other cities and other community partners, so they can post the videos wherever they can, so that residents can see them and get this information in their hands as quickly as possible. We also do every other Friday a Know Your Rights presentation for tenants on Zoom. And it has a question and answer portion, again, to try and sort of scoop up whoever needs us and can get the basic information about what the latest situation is with the law with respect to tenants and what they need to do, and just they have a knowledge of what their obligations are and what their rights are as they go. And so again, that's every other Friday at 1 o'clock. And if folks are interested in that, they can call our office at 916-551-2150 and get put on the list for that Zoom presentation, where they can call in, or of course see it visually and then ask questions via the Zoom chat. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of a rundown on the tenant protections and the extension that was just floated this week and was passed today. And we understand that the governor is expected to sign it. So the original tenant protection legislation is referred to as AB 3088, and this was passed in September. And what it did is it provided protections for from eviction for what's termed COVID-related rental debt between March 1 and August 31. If the tenant, after being given a certain notice from a landlord, completed a financial distress declaration that basically says that I lost income as a result of the COVID pandemic. It then had kind of a different protection for folks between September 1 and January 31. And that was that if the renter paid 25% of their rental charges between September 1 and January 31, they were also protected from eviction. The debt doesn't go away. Landlords are still entitled to collect the debt. It just doesn't allow for the eviction process. And again, that required tenants to submit a declaration that's served by the landlord that lets their landlord know that they've lost income as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. And then one of the last major things that it did is it did not allow for evictions without any reason. So this is known in tenant land as just cause. And it restricted the reasons that a landlord would be able to evict during the pandemic, and outlines those in detail rather than in pre-pandemic, a landlord generally could give a notice for any reason or no reason to end a tenancy, unless the very new legislation that just passed last year applied to the property. So there was a lot of nervousness for tenants coming up on January 31 because AB 3088 the protections there were set to end. And we're still in the midst of the pandemic, and folks are still really struggling to be able to have enough hours at work, or still laid off, or still having a whole host of extra expenses as a result of the pandemic. And it wasn't clear what was going to happen with that. But then earlier this week, the legislature came out with SB 91. And like I said, passed it today. And the sort of highlights of this, so we are still digesting it ourselves. There's a lot to it. But some highlights of it and some sort of big picture items are that it extends and it builds upon the protections that were in 3088 and extends them until June 30th of this year. And that includes the extension to pay the 25% of your rent between September and June of this year. It also requires landlords to give a specific informational notice to their tenants by February 28th of this year. That gives tenants information about their rights and about rental assistance and some other matters that are really specific. So landlords do need to be on the lookout for that so that they give this specific information because it's quite detailed. The new bill doesn't allow for late fees for COVID-related rental debt. So that's generally going to be rental debt between March of 2020 and June of 2021. Where someone wasn't able to pay as a result of COVID-19. And then what's new about SB 91 or the Tenant Relief Act is that there's rental assistance that's coming down the pike to help tenants and to help landlords be able to get clear of some of the debt that has been accruing. And so it's kind of a complicated process. So the way that the communities will get it depends on how large their community is. So for example, if the community is between 200,000 people and 499,999,000 people, then you can run your own program, or you can be part of the state program. And for communities that are less than 200,000, the tenants in those communities will participate in a state-run program. And so we're still kind of figuring out all of the details of the rental assistance that is coming, but the hope is that it'll both be a relief for tenants and landlords, while also still sort of the protection overall, giving some respite to tenants who are still really struggling with, again, like I said, reduced hours at work, unemployment, and other costs that everyone is experiencing as a result of the pandemic. And then just some, wanted to it was asked to kind of alert the council to sort of the issues that tenants are facing. So what, one of the things that we have, been worrying about for folks, even with the protections, is that at some point this rental debt comes due. And whether or not a low-income tenants or other tenants are going to be able to pay it. And if they aren't able to pay it, of course, that harms credit history. It harms the ability to rent in the future. It expands the wealth gap. It expands the racial wealth gap. And so there's a lot of harm to not being able to do this. So the rental assistance program will be really key for that piece of it, to hopefully provide some relief for everybody. It will be targeted, at least initially, to those who are at 50% or lower than the area median income. So the other things that we're kind of seeing, just tenants facing, so the council is aware. So we are seeing landlords in frustration of not being able to evict for non-payment of rent, attempting retaliatory court evictions for either minor breaches of the lease that they wouldn't normally evict for, or unfounded allegations. We're also seeing in our service area attempted illegal self-help evictions. So a self-help eviction is when a landlord just changes the locks on a tenant and just takes matters into their own hands without going through the required court process. And then just generally what we're seeing for folks is just a lack of available rental housing, especially that's affordable to low-income individuals and families. It's very hard for folks to search for housing in the pandemic. It's hard to go look at housing. It's hard to find housing. And then, then we have just issues related to whether or not tenants know what they have to do under these protections and whether they do them, and if landlords know what they need to do and serve, or accept for that part of it. So those are just some of the issues they face, and we're happy, for your constituents that are low income or seniors to call us, and we're happy to walk them through what their rights and obligations are with respect to tenants, and give them some information and whatever assistance that we can. So I'm happy to take questions, and I'm thankful to be able to work with the city and as part of the Fair Housing Project and the Renters Helpline as one of the partners. And we appreciate your work and taking care of your community.
Thank you for the informative presentation. Any questions or comments from council?
I have a question. Tim Schaefer.
Go ahead, Tim.
So are there any protections for landlords who are unable to pay their mortgage because they can't collect rent?
So it's my understanding that there are going to be some protections of that nature. So I'm not familiar with the mortgage protections themselves. And I'm happy to get back to you on that as well for that piece of it. I'm more familiar with the tenant side of things. But advocates are working on that very issue because we certainly want landlords to be able to keep their homes and properties and mom and pops to still be able to have what is often really essential income for themselves.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really a double-edged sword. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Great department reports. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Hope to see you soon. And with that, I think we can move on to the next item.
The next item is city manager items.
No, thank you.
The next item is items requested by council members or any future agenda items.
Anything?
Not for me.
Yep, I have one thing. Earlier tonight, before the regular city council meeting, we held a study session or special meeting regarding financial update. A lot of important things were discussed. A lot of good information was shared that it would have been very nice for the public to be able to see that and hear that. It's 8:20 right now. We've had an hour and 20 meeting, an hour and 20-minute meeting, and that meeting was about an hour and a half. I think we just are doing a real disservice if we don't find a way to bring those study sessions into our regular meetings. And I did a little research and found that nobody starts as late as we do. And I know there's, in the past, there's been some conflict with the Channel 14 broadcasting and stuff like that. But I was wondering if maybe we could take a look at maybe starting earlier, see if there's some shifting that can happen, and seeing if we can't get these study sessions, which tend to be very important matters, more into our regular city council meetings so that they can be seen by the citizens who take the opportunity to watch us. That's it.
Well, historically, our study sessions have been open to the public. Are they no longer open to the public because of?
Well, they're not broadcasted.
Actually, the study session tonight was.
Oh, it was tonight?
It was broadcast on Metro.
Are we doing that now, or is that just?
We have been doing that. We've been broadcasting live
Tell me
on.
these things, Amy.
We're broadcasting live on Metro Cable, our study session, special meeting, and our regular meeting, and we are also broadcasting on YouTube live for the special and regular meeting.
Oh, well, very good. Just rewind that and cut it out of my comments then. Thank you very much.
I think Nicole Baxter and the Pitts need to get to work and get the word out on all this, Brett.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else?
Thank you.
My screen timed out. Is that the last item?
Yes, that was the last item.
Well then, folks, we're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Nice job, Mayor.
Lottery will get you everywhere, too.